Now, more than 40 people have now been arrested following incidents of looting and the torching of buildings and vehicles in Johannesburg since yesterday morning. Police arrested 22 people in Malvern earlier today after more than 50 shops were looted and scores of vehicles burnt. Several people were caught in the act, while others were found in possession of stolen items. 4 others were arrested for public violence in Jeppes Town yesterday. Let's continue getting you more on this looting that's taking place in different parts of Johannesburg. We're going to now go to our reporter Gillian Pillay, who's standing by in Turfontein. A very good afternoon to Gillian. We saw lots of movement earlier on when you were on the scene. Take us through what's happening now.
A very good afternoon to you. We're now in High Street, where we saw a lot of that violence, that fresh wave of violence unfolding. Again, attacks on foreign-owned shops. We saw large mobs moving in. You just heard rubber bullets ringing out now, and that has been the situation here. Police have fired several rubber bullets trying to disperse mobs who have been going from one foreign shop to another, looting and taking whatever they can. It's been a bit of an overwhelming situation for police. We understand that they are quite strained in the sense that resources are spread across the province, where we've seen this wave of looting taking place. We were earlier in Malvern and we saw the scenes there, car dealerships being set alight, also foreign shop owners being torched and as early as 8 o'clock last night into the wee hours of the morning. And we've basically just been moving from these areas from the reports that we've received. We are joined by one of the residents in the area to just get a sense of, is this a copycatting from what we saw happening 2 weeks ago in the city of Johannesburg? It moved to Soweto. We now saw Jeppe yesterday. Late last night we saw Malvern, and now it's here in Turfontein in this particular street.
I don't think it is a spillover per se. However, the community has had a very numb government. The community has been making serious complaints that where the DA governs, there seem to be drugs happening. It's not only here in Johannesburg. You can go to the Cape, look at the police reports. The DA has come to a point where the South Africa needs to investigate. Is the DA working with the drug dealers? Because we're seemingly seeing something here that where the DA is, there seems to be drugs as well. On the other hand, in our locality here, we've been running in up and down trying to quell this noise with the community from 3 a.m. The police have not been here. They are no show. Suddenly you guys are coming and giving us footage on TV. They are now here. And look what they do. They're just shooting people randomly. Some people are shot randomly. They were shot here close range, similar to the way, Andrew Statana was shot and killed by rubber bullets. I think something has to be done. We need our leadership to come to this locality. It cannot be that people's cries are not listened to. For how long must people cry? Because people are now taking chances, looking at the fact that there's no one who's here from leadership. There was no police people here. By the time police come here, shops were already looted. Where were the police? And they cannot simply just retaliate by shooting people and taking them to prison. For what? Where were they to quell the situation?
But I think the question that people are asking, why are we now all of a sudden seeing this in the wake of what we saw happening in Malvern? Surely people are suspecting that it's a copycat measure. Why is this happening?
Well, the flares, as we see them burning all over, we cannot simply say it's a copycat, because no one has done a proper investigation to see for sure that these people are copying these other ones. However, we are simply saying the country has been on edge. We know South Africa is a very volatile country. For how long? We know our country is a very, very unequal country. For how long must people cry? Someone must come from top and talk to the people here. That's what we are calling for. Leadership to come. Mashaba, whether it's whatever the DA leadership is, because this area is under the DA. Where are they?
But is this criminality, or is this the right thing that they're doing, attacking foreign-owned shops?
Well, the element of criminality must be dealt with by the police. We're happy that the police are here to deal with that situation. However, what is not dealt with? We have a socio-economic problem in South Africa. No one is dealing with that. And the ramifications of that are what we see here. That's what I can say for now.
Socio-economic problems.
Yes.
Do South Africans want foreign nationals out of South Africa? What is the issue here that we see flaring up since 2008? It's the third time we've seen what many call xenophobic attacks or attacks on foreign nationals.
Until we have a thorough study done in this country, that tells us for sure South Africans are really losing jobs. Because perceptions is everything. The perception is there. No one has done nothing to deal with that perception that these foreigners are taking jobs from South Africans. On the other hand, we cannot have countries like Zimbabwe, Nigeria, having their people coming in the country. Their people are suspected of selling drugs, taking our girls, making them prostitutes. And who is dealing with that situation? Because South Africans, I believe, are reasonable people. But someone must do something meaningful so that people can understand for sure that for sure something has been done. No one is taking no one's job. But as things are standing right now, no one is dealing with the situation.
Just talk to us about how would you want police to deal with this matter? You're not happy with what we saw, as you said earlier, and we can hear rubber bullets there again, police again moving in on crowds there, and that has been the situation the whole morning, or since 3 a.m. as you said, or up until we arrived and police arrived. How would you like police to deal with dispersing these crowds or bringing or restoring law and order?
The police and the soldiers are not there to deal with economic issues. The minister, I think it's Patel, he must come and show leadership. The issues that are here in this country are economic. We've just had flares up. The premier was in Joburg, where they saw how foreign were selling, Fong Kong as we call it. What has been done since then? Transnet, they run the ports in this country. Are they allowing illegal stuff to come in through their ports? The Minister of Transport, are they allowing ships to bring in dangerous goods in this country that are not looked into? And the Minister of Economic Development, Patel, what has he done to deal with the socio-economic situation we have in this country? A dialogue needs to be done, a thorough and meaningful dialogue. That's what we need in this country. At the moment, leadership is not showing its face.
And that's the kind of reactions that we see coming out of this community, them saying that it's deeper than just looting and attacks on foreign-owned or foreign national shops. They're wanting leadership to come down here, and they're wanting them to address issues around the socio-economic issues that's driving this kind of attack that we see playing itself out from time to time. As I can tell you now, the situation is extremely tense. There's a standoff between residents here as well as police. A lot of the shops here, the foreign-owned shop owners just stood by while their shops were being looted, and that has been the situation from a lot of them, from a lot of different areas, from what we've seen in Tembisa, from what we've seen in Soweto, and from what we've seen in Melbourne. But we're hoping that police can contain the situation, that they are now on the ground. Earlier it was a little bit strained in terms of resources, but they do seem to have the situation a little bit more under control than it was earlier, where they had no control over the mobs that were adamant and determined to break down garage doors and burglar bars. And we felt a little bit unsafe at some stage, but we're largely in a more safer environment here, surrounded by police, but still a very tense and volatile situation here in Turffontein.
Gillian Pillay, thanks for giving us that update throughout that chaos that's been taking place. Do stay safe, and she'll continue following that story.